In Book 23, Penelope gives her maid a shocking order: move the great marriage bed outside the bedchamber so the stranger can sleep on it. Hearing this, Odysseus reacts with sudden anger. He snaps back that moving their bed is physically impossible. He explains that he built the frame himself, carving a living, rooted olive tree trunk into a structural leg for the bed. To move it, someone would have to cut down the tree. This is an architectural secret known to exactly 3 people in the world: Penelope, Odysseus, and a single maid named Actorus. His angry outburst proves his true identity. Why did Penelope push her long-lost husband to this breaking point of anger? To understand this final test, we have to rewind and look at the psychological war she fought entirely on her own. Years earlier, Penelope trapped her hostile suitors in a holding pattern. She claimed she could only choose a new husband after weaving a burial shroud for her father-in-law, Laertes. She worked on the fabric by day and secretly unpicked it by night. This repetitive, hidden tactic successfully held off the men occupying her house for 3 entire years. The deception eventually collapsed when she was betrayed by one of her own maids, forcing her to finish the garment. By the time we reach books 13 and 17, her time has completely run out. This coincides exactly with Odysseus finally arriving back on the shores of Ithaca, disguised as an elderly beggar. With her primary defense broken, Penelope is forced to shift from passive delay to active interrogation. In Book 19, Penelope conducts a private, calculated interview with the disguised beggar to test his claims of having met Odysseus. The beggar validates his story by accurately describing highly specific details, recalling the exact purple cloak her husband wore and a unique brooch that pinned it. This precise exchange sparks a major scholarly debate. Some experts interpret this as the exact moment Penelope recognizes him and secretly forms her master plan, while others maintain she remains genuinely in the dark. Regardless of her awareness, she makes her final move at the end of the interview. She abruptly announces to the beggar that she will hold a tournament the next day to choose a new husband. She is not surrendering to the suitors. She is deploying a highly engineered trap disguised as a matrimonial game. Moving into Book 21, Penelope retrieves Odysseus's great legendary bow, and her son Telemachus sets up the arena. The challenge requires 12 axes, planted in a perfectly straight line across the earthen floor of the Great Hall. This diagram illustrates the dual winning conditions. The suitor must first possess the sheer strength to string the bow, and then the extreme precision to shoot an arrow cleanly through the aligned handle holes of all 12 axes. The suitors cast lots and attempt the challenge, but they completely failed to even string the bow. The contest was designed to disarm and humiliate the suitors, while safely delivering the ultimate weapon directly into the hands of the only man who could use it. Just before the disguised Odysseus takes the bow, Telemachus orders Penelope upstairs, ensuring she does not witness what happens next. Odysseus strings the bow and perfectly executes the shot through all 12 handle holes. The narrative then shifts into Book 22. With the weapon in hand and the doors secured, Odysseus, Telemachus, and the loyal servants execute the suitors in a brief, ruthless slaughter. While Odysseus executed the physical violence, the tactical battlefield that made the victory possible was prepared entirely by Penelope. Returning to Book 23, the palace is now secure, but Penelope remains intentionally guarded and initiates the bed test. After 20 years of war and trickery, she had to deploy one final, unfakeable test of knowledge to ensure a god or a dangerous impostor hadn't simply won the bow contest. His knowledge of the bed satisfies her, and they reunite. The poem's epilogue continues into Book 24, but the primary emotional arc concludes here. The evidence of her tactics has been laid out. Now you have to decide, when did Penelope truly figure out the beggar's identity?